Let's all go this way.
When science fails you, this elixir will give you faith again.
Alright, lady. What
Good
shit
evening,
are you
Good evening, sir.
spilling all over the place?
Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Oh, I could trade with her.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
No, she works at a hospital. Trying to get rid of this epidemic.
I'd like to see what kind of medicine you're selling.
Swanborough cordial. Green's printed in Latin, of course. I can't use it, I can only recycle it into components. Good to know. Opium. Nothing I'm interested in. You, sir?
Good evening, Benjamin. Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Reed.
Oh, this is the guy I already talked to.
A gun, alcohol, and a...
I already talked to him. He just moved. Unlike Stardew Valley, people don't look down on you for eating through trash cans.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Well, he's got bronchitis. Damn, where'd he go?
I cannot enter.
Ooh. Oh. Trash can. Where'd he go? Ah.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be from Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nithercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me, just downwind.
It's locked, all right. I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Alright then. Do I have any? Oh, I already finished that. Fatigue and migraine. I could doctor things up. You know, be a doctor and stuff. But I don't have a bench to make the medicine right now.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
Oh, you have no idea. Yes, mortal. That's me. At least you're healthy.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like the liberal ideas of nurses, but I especially abhor that Nurse Crane you mentioned.
So, you're not exactly a fan of Florence Nightingale's work. But nurses are essential for modern healthcare.
Nuns should be the only women allowed to take care of male patients. It's obvious only they have the necessary moral fiber.
Yeah.
Why do you hate
How
Nurse
disgusting.
Crane more than other nurses?
Before coming to London, she was a member of the communist resistance in our country.
Ah.
That's what happens when you let a woman get involved in politics.
She's like, Kami! Kami! I won't do that again. Hold on, I need to wet my throat. There we go. That's where I was at. Oh, yes. Kami!
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
I am now. Wasn't before, but I am now.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
Did he just look at the camera?
Beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Who, me? I mean, those weird things in the sewers?
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
If I remember right, one of the times London burned down, it was because somebody was being an idiot with fire, and the whole city was made out of wood. Or most of it, at least.
Fire is just the instinctive answer of a caveman facing something he does not understand. This is the 20th century.
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad. And dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Oh? I want to ask about his family.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
That was interesting. What are you doing?
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
Rational explanation. My rationalism has been recently shaken. Pandemic.
That science is unable to explain the facts doesn't mean there is no rational explanation.
I confess, I share your point of view, Doctor.
Good answer.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
I
I
suppose.
served in France. Our top priority must be to put an end to this butchery. This war must stop now.
Sir, streets are a battlefield too. An invisible and untold war is going on, and it must be stopped.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Alright then.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth. I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Good on you. No personal questions?
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital may be involved with unsavory activities.
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious, never goes out, doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
And also, he has bronchitis.
He has no relatives at all?
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nithercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nithercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Thing? Find the mailbox. Loot the flower. Smaller flower bouquet with a voucher for a free medical checkup hidden between the flowers. Interesting. You there.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed. I'd like to ask you a few questions. I know what you're thinking. A tall stranger who meets a girl in the street at night. It reeks of the penny dreadfuls. But I mean you no harm, truly. Camellia, I know you work for Dorothy Crane. Please tell me about her secret dispensary.
What is she?
A stubborn and mute comrade. Nurse
Or
Crane
deaf.
and Darius Petrescu have been clever.
Sorry, that is she's deaf and or mute.
I know you understand what I'm saying. Your silence has nothing to do with you being mute, does it?
Oh, she is mute. Oh, that one tell me. Damn, look at that blood quality.
Very well. Goodbye then.
Goodbye, strange mute lady. Find this mailbox. Ah, here it is. There's Petruska's letter. My dearest, most beloved children, I am so sorry you have not heard from me for a few months. The situation in London has been difficult. I know it may sound selfish and silly when you, my children, are still living in a country consumed by war. But there is also a war going on here in England. War against poverty, against injustice. This is a war I intend to fight, despite my advanced years. This is why I am writing to you today. I won't be coming back to Romania. That probably means I won't see you again before I die. Don't be sad, my darlings. You are grown up now. And you have children of your own. You know the sacrifice we sometimes must accept to make the world a better place. This is one I must make now. Feel useful one more time. I wish you a long and happy life. Kiss my grandchildren for me, and remember that your father loves you. All the way from this cold, damp country. I am, as ever, your loving father.
The content of Darius' letter to his children could give me more leverage to enter.
Yes, it could.
It's locked.
I can just... I can't hop over this. Like, useless. Damn you, game mechanics. Oops. I might have to go around the other way then.
The walls of your home will not protect you, for there is no protection against malevolence.